Even quantum physicists can't explain this concept, but ancient monks might have warned us. The contract you signed before birth, before you even took your first breath, before you understood the world around you, there was a moment, an eternal instant, when your soul made an agreement, a binding contract. It wasn't written on paper, and it wasn't something you could recall with your conscious mind, but it was a pact nonetheless. In that moment, your soul agreed to take on the challenges, the relationships, and the circumstances that would define this life. You might wonder, how could something as complex and unpredictable as life be preordained? How could you, as a tiny, unaware being, consciously decide your struggles, your joys, your losses, and your growth? The answer lies in the very nature of who you are. More than just flesh and bone, you are a consciousness beyond time, beyond the limitations of the body. At the core of your being, your soul understood that this experience, this human life, would not be a random occurrence. You chose this. You knew that the path you would walk would be full of challenges and hardships, but you also knew that it would lead to growth and transformation. What does that mean for you now, here in the present moment? It means that as much as you might resist, as much as you may question the hardships you face, they are part of the plan, a plan you agreed to before you were even born. Think about the people you encounter in your life. Some of them seem so familiar, don't they? You've known them in another time, in another place. It's almost as if the bond you share is far older than this life. That's because it is. The relationships and encounters you face were part of the agreement too. Before you were born, your soul knew who would appear in your life and in what form. Some of these people would challenge you, some would hurt you, and others would help you see your deepest truths. And every person, every situation, is a mirror of your own soul's evolution. You may feel like life is a series of random events, some good, some bad. But when you step back and look at your journey as a whole, you start to see a pattern, a map, a design that only makes sense when viewed from the lens of your soul's purpose. Each heartbreak, each victory, each decision has led you to this very moment. Every joy you've felt and every pain you've suffered has been a thread in the fabric of your existence, weaving a tapestry that is uniquely yours. You signed this contract not out of ignorance, but out of the wisdom of your higher self. You knew that in order to truly understand who you are, to awaken to your fullest potential, you would need to face these challenges head-on. The soul does not shy away from obstacles. It embraces them, knowing that through struggle, transformation occurs. The pain is not punishment. It is an essential part of the soul's journey toward wholeness. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. How could I have chosen this? The heartaches, the struggles, the times you felt lost. How could those have been part of the plan? But that's the paradox of the soul's wisdom. It knows that through the darkness, you'll eventually find the light. It knows that through the trials, you'll emerge stronger, wiser, and more connected to your true self. Every challenge in your life, every seeming obstacle, is a part of the growth process. You signed up for this. You chose this. You agreed to take on this human experience, knowing that, at the end of it, you would have a deeper understanding of your soul's true purpose. There's a reason why you resonate so deeply with some people, and there's a reason why certain life events feel so familiar. The contract you signed before birth is like a hidden roadmap guiding you to your higher self. You've already taken the first steps, and every step after is part of your soul's journey. Now, let's pause for a moment. Think about a time in your life when you faced something difficult, something that seemed like it would break you. How did you get through it? Did you grow stronger because of it? Have you ever wondered why you felt like you could handle it, despite the odds? Could it be that you knew, on a deeper level, that this was part of your soul's plan? Share your thoughts below, and let's discuss how these challenges might be leading us towards something much greater. Why certain people always return. Have you ever met someone and felt like you've known them forever, even though it's the first time you've crossed paths? It's not just a strange coincidence. It's something much deeper, something that transcends time itself. There are people in your life who keep coming back, no matter how many times they may drift away, or how far apart life may push you. You might not be able to explain why, but deep down, you feel an undeniable connection with them. The truth is, these connections are not random. In fact, they're part of a larger, invisible pattern that your soul has been following long before this life. The people who always seem to return, the ones who reappear in your life at just the right moment, are part of a soul contract that stretches beyond the boundaries of this existence. These individuals are not simply friends, lovers, or acquaintances. They are soulmates in a much broader sense of the word. They are companions from other lifetimes, those who agreed to meet you here again, in this time and space, to help you evolve, to challenge you, to guide you, or sometimes to test you. You may wonder why this keeps happening. Why does it feel like there's something unfinished between you and them? The answer is simple. You have unfinished business. The connections you form with these people are often karmic in nature, meaning that you've shared experiences with them in previous lives. In this one, the universe has conspired to bring them back into your orbit. Sometimes these reunions are filled with love and healing, but other times they can bring conflict, tension, and even pain. Yet every encounter, no matter how it plays out, is meant to push you forward in your spiritual growth. Why do these people always return, though? It's because your soul knows that it cannot fully complete its journey alone. You need others, and certain souls have been chosen to walk beside you at different points in your existence. In every lifetime, they play a unique role, and so do you in theirs. Some of these individuals may not even realize the depth of the connection, but to you, it feels like a bond that has always existed. There's an undeniable familiarity, a sense that your paths were meant to cross again. Think about those moments when someone from your past reappears in your life. Maybe they were an old friend you hadn't seen in years, or an ex-lover who pops back in at just the right moment. You might find yourself wondering how it's even possible that you cross paths again after all this time. But it's not a coincidence. These moments are orchestrated by the soul's plan. Your soul recognizes theirs, and even if you're not fully aware of it, your interactions with them are crucial to your growth. Perhaps it's someone you're not entirely sure about, someone who has hurt you before, or whom you've lost touch with. The reason they keep returning is because there is something unresolved between you two. The soul cannot move forward without clearing up past debts, emotional or otherwise. These recurring encounters aren't meant to trap you in the past, but rather to help you break free from the cycles that bind you. They are opportunities for forgiveness, understanding, and growth. You may not always understand why they come back into your life, but each return is a lesson in itself, designed to teach you something important about who you are and where you still need healing. Sometimes, the reason certain people keep reappearing isn't about reconciliation or healing. Sometimes It's about recognizing that the relationship was never meant to continue, and the return is the final chance to let go, to release the past so that you can move forward. Letting go of the past is one of the hardest things to do, especially when it feels like a chapter of your life is unfinished. But remember, there is a higher purpose at play, one that's far more aligned with your soul's journey than any temporary desire for closure. Have you ever had someone come back into your life and thought, why now? Why are they here again? Think about the people who keep returning to you, whether it's friends, family members, or ex-lovers. How do they fit into your journey? What lessons have they taught you? And what lessons do you still need to learn from them? Leave a comment below and share your experience. Let's dive into this mystery of soul contracts and what they mean for your personal evolution. If this concept resonates with you, don't forget to hit the like button, share your thoughts, or subscribe for more insight into the deeper mysteries of life. There are countless more hidden truths waiting to be revealed. The soul's blueprint and its flaws. Before we even arrive in this world, our soul has already designed a unique blueprint, a framework filled with lessons, challenges, and profound purpose. This blueprint is unlike anything we can physically see or touch, yet it's the invisible map that directs us on our journey. It's a set of instructions for us to follow, but one that's not without its imperfections. These flaws aren't accidental. In fact, they are deeply intentional, existing to push us toward growth and spiritual awakening. At first glance, the imperfections might seem like obstacles, but they are far from it. The soul's blueprint, by design, incorporates lessons meant to help us transcend the illusions of the material world. One of the most prominent flaws is the illusion of separation. From the moment we are born, we're conditioned to believe that we are individuals, separate from others and from the universe itself. We think that our problems are personal. Our pain is ours alone to bear. But this is simply not true. The blueprint calls us to recognize the interconnectedness of all beings, but the challenge is to break free from the limiting belief that we are disconnected from the universe and from each other. When we finally awaken to this interconnectedness, everything changes. Another common flaw in our soul's design is the cycle of repetitive behaviors. Have you ever noticed that certain patterns tend to repeat in your life? Bad habits, toxic relationships, or similar struggles. You may find yourself facing the same challenges over and over, wondering why nothing seems to change. These recurring patterns are not coincidences. They are intricately woven into our soul's blueprint to ensure that we are presented with the same lessons until we learn them. The challenge here is awareness. The moment we identify these repeating patterns and begin to understand their purpose, we can break free and finally shift towards spiritual growth. Tied to these repeated patterns are the unresolved lessons from past lives, what some might call unfinished business. These are lingering emotional wounds or karmic ties that we are still carrying with us, whether we're aware of them or not. The beauty of the soul's blueprint is that these unresolved aspects of our past aren't meant to haunt us. They're meant to help us heal. The emotional weight we feel may be a catalyst, pushing us toward understanding, forgiveness, or releasing past grudges. These unresolved lessons are powerful tools for growth. Without them, we wouldn't evolve. Then, there's the vulnerability embedded in our design. While we are often told to fix our weaknesses or overcome our flaws, the truth is, they are a vital part of our soul's blueprint. These vulnerabilities, whether they show up as fears, insecurities, or doubts, are often seen as impediments. But these flaws are what create the space for growth and transformation. Without them, we would never be prompted to seek out strength, trust, or resilience. We would remain stagnant, without the challenges that force us to rise to a higher level. The soul's blueprint also includes the paradox of free will. While we're given this vast space of freedom to make our own choices, we're also intricately guided by a higher intelligence. It's not a rigid set of rules that dictate our every move, but a more fluid, dynamic path that requires us to listen to the subtle whispers of intuition and experience the consequences of our decisions. The tension between free will and divine guidance is another layer of our soul's blueprint, and learning how to navigate it is an ongoing process. Finally, one of the most profound flaws in our soul's design is the seeming unpredictability of life. We may think we've figured things out, mapped out the perfect plan for our future, but life often has other ideas. Our soul's blueprint includes twists and turns that we never saw coming. Yet these unexpected changes often lead us to the exact place we need to be. Trusting the journey, even when we don't understand why things are happening, is a crucial aspect of our soul's growth. Ultimately, the flaws in our soul's blueprint aren't roadblocks. They are invitations to grow. They challenge us, test us, and push us toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Each imperfection is an opportunity to heal, evolve, and step into a higher state of being. When we learn to embrace these flaws instead of resisting them, we unlock the true potential within us. So, the next time you encounter what seems like a flaw or obstacle in your life, remember, it's not there to stop you, but to show you the way forward. The echoes of past regrets. There's an undeniable resonance that lingers in our lives. The echoes of past regrets. These are the decisions we wish we could undo, the words left unsaid, or the paths we didn't take. But what if I told you that these regrets aren't just memories of a past gone wrong? What if they're actually part of a deeper, hidden design of the soul, meant to guide us toward the person we were always meant to become? Regret is one of the most powerful emotions we can experience. It grips us with its sharp edges, forcing us to confront the consequences of our choices. But what's fascinating is how these regrets continue to echo through time. We often think of regret as a burden, something that weighs us down and traps us in the past. We imagine that by reliving these moments over and over, we're just torturing ourselves with what could have been. Yet, in truth, the soul has a different perspective on regret. When we experience regret, we are actually tapping into a deeper layer of understanding. Our soul, much like an ancient library, holds all the knowledge of past lives, past actions, and past mistakes. These regrets, these echoes, are not isolated moments. They are part of a continuous feedback loop that the soul uses to realign us with our true purpose. The mistake, the misstep, the missed opportunity, it all becomes a part of the echo that reverberates across time, shaping the way we approach future choices. The echo of past regrets is not just a feeling. It's a whisper from the universe, urging us to learn from our mistakes. The universe doesn't punish us for our wrongs. It uses those wrongs as teaching moments, guiding us toward greater wisdom. It's as if the universe itself is saying, "You've been here before, and you're about to make the same mistake again. So I'm sending you this echo to remind you." This echo can manifest in various ways. Perhaps you find yourself in similar situations, facing the same crossroads as you did years ago. You might notice that certain patterns emerge in your relationships, career, or personal life patterns that seem familiar, as if you're being given a second chance to make a different decision. But the question is, are you paying attention to the echoes of your past? Are you truly learning from them, or are you repeating the same cycle? At the core of this experience is something even deeper: the soul's desire for growth. The echoes of past regrets are not there to make us feel miserable or trapped in our history. They are there to push us forward. They are the soul's way of saying, "You are capable of more than this. You are meant to break free from these patterns and rise above them." It's important to understand that these echoes don't just come from the immediate past. They span across lifetimes. We are often confronted by the ghosts of our former selves, the unresolved choices from previous incarnations. These unresolved regrets follow us like shadows, haunting us until we learn to integrate them into our current existence. They are like unfinished chapters in our soul's book, calling us to write the next page with wisdom and clarity. The beauty of these echoes is that, over time, they lose their power to hurt us. They begin to transform from burdens into lessons. The more we understand the deeper meanings behind our regrets, the more we come to see them as necessary steps on the path to personal growth. They are the soul's way of refining us, shaping us into beings who can learn from our mistakes rather than be defined by them. If you've ever felt haunted by a past regret, know that it is not here to punish you. It's there to guide you. The soul uses these echoes to remind you that your past does not define you. It refines you. Every mistake, every regret is a stepping stone on your path to wisdom. And when you begin to embrace these echoes, they will no longer hold you back. Instead, they will propel you forward, helping you to become a wiser, more conscious version of yourself. So ask yourself, what regrets have you been carrying with you for too long? What are the echoes of your past trying to teach you? Take a moment to reflect and let the lessons from those regrets shape your future. Why you chose this life. Have you ever wondered why you're here, in this specific moment, with the circumstances you face and the people in your life? It's easy to feel like life is a random set of events, accidental journey that just happened to lead you here. But what if I told you that this life, with all its challenges and experiences, is not random at all? What if, deep down, you chose this life before you were even born? The idea that we, as souls, have a hand in choosing our lives may sound strange at first. How could we, with our limited human perspective, possibly know what we needed before we even existed in this world? But if you look deeper, you might begin to see that everything in your life is precisely what your soul needs to evolve. You see, every soul comes into this life with a unique set of goals. We don't just stumble into existence. We are born with an intention, a purpose, and a plan. Think of it like a cosmic blueprint, a map that you created long before you were born. This blueprint outlines the lessons you need to learn, the experiences that will help you grow, and the relationship that will challenge you to become the person you're meant to be. You may be thinking, but why would I choose hardship, pain, or struggle? The answer lies in understanding the nature of soul evolution. Our souls are not here to simply enjoy life's pleasures. They are here to learn, to grow, and to experience everything that will push them to higher levels of consciousness. The challenges, the obstacles, the moments of heartbreak, they are not mistakes or cosmic punishments. They are, in fact, the very things you, as a soul, knew you would need to break through your limits and evolve. Before you were born, you understood the vastness of existence, the intricacies of energy, and the lessons your soul needed to experience. You knew that these challenges would stretch you, test you, and push you beyond your comfort zones. But you also knew that, through those challenges, You would gain wisdom that would help you awaken to deeper truths about yourself and the universe. The people who come into your life, your family, your friends, even the strangers you meet, are also part of the intricate design you created for this life. You chose them, either consciously or subconsciously, to help you grow. Some of these relationships will feel like pure love and connection, while others might feel like conflict or tension. Yet, all of these people play a role in your personal evolution. They are part of your soul's curriculum, challenging you, teaching you, and pushing you to become the person you are destined to be. Think about it. Have you ever faced a difficult situation that, at the time, seemed unfair or meaningless, only to look back and realize how much it changed you for the better? That moment, when you finally understood the lesson behind the pain, the growth that came from the struggle. That's the power of soul choice. You are not a victim of circumstances. You are a conscious creator of your reality. The beauty of life lies in the fact that you have the power to shape your experience. You can choose to see every obstacle as an opportunity for growth, every challenge as a stepping stone to wisdom. When you realize that you chose this life, you begin to understand that everything is in perfect alignment with your soul's greater plan. But here's the real question. Why did you choose to experience life in the way that you are? What were the specific lessons you wanted to learn? How do the challenges you're facing right now fit into your greater soul plan? Take a moment to reflect on your life and the experiences you've had. Notice the patterns that have emerged, the moments when you've been pushed to your limits, and the ways you've grown from those experiences. What if, instead of resisting life's challenges, you embraced them as part of your soul's mission? The key to unlocking the mysteries of your life's purpose is to look at your experiences through the lens of choice. You are not just navigating random events. You are engaging in a powerful journey of self-discovery, evolution, and transformation. Every step you take, every decision you make, is part of the divine plan that you set in motion long before you were born. So ask yourself, why did you choose this life? What is it that your soul is seeking to learn, to experience, to master? And most importantly, are you ready to embrace the full power of your soul's plan? The hidden room in the memory vault. We all have memories, some vivid, some faint, and they shape who we are. They guide our decisions, influence our emotions, and give us a sense of continuity in life. But have you ever wondered if there's more hidden deep within your mind, locked away in a place you can't quite reach? Somewhere, deep in the vault of your memories, there might be a room, a secret chamber that holds the key to unlocking parts of your consciousness you never knew existed. The mind is vast, a labyrinth of thoughts, experiences, and hidden truths. Our memories are like a giant vault, storing everything we've ever encountered, felt, or witnessed. And just like any vault, there are areas that are harder to access, parts that we consciously avoid or simply don't know how to retrieve. But there's more to this vault than just what we can consciously remember. Imagine that, within the intricate structure of your mind, there's a room that holds the answers to questions you've never even thought to ask. This hidden room is more than just forgotten memories or suppressed thoughts. It's a space where deep existential truths are stored. Have you ever had a moment where something seemed so familiar, yet you couldn't place it? Perhaps you've had déjà vu or encountered an intense feeling of knowing something without having learned it. These fleeting moments could be glimpses into that hidden room, the place where past lives, forgotten wisdom, or soul-level knowledge lies dormant, waiting for the right time to resurface. But why is this room hidden? Why doesn't our mind simply open the vault and allow us to access all of its contents freely? The answer lies in the protective mechanisms of the subconscious. Our mind doesn't reveal everything at once because we're not always ready to handle what lies within. Just as a key can unlock a door, but only when the time is right, your mind only allows you to access certain memories or truths when you're prepared to understand them. Perhaps the hidden room contains memories of past lives, experiences, decisions, or connections you've made long before this incarnation. Maybe it holds knowledge that could alter the course of your current life if you were able to access it. Or perhaps it stores unresolved emotions and experiences that, once brought to the surface, could lead to deep healing. The potential of this hidden space is immense, but the question is, how can we unlock it? One way to access this forgotten chamber is through deep meditation or altered states of consciousness. By quieting the mind, you allow your subconscious to rise to the surface, revealing fragments of information that were once tucked away. This is the space where true self-awareness can be found. It's where you can confront the fears, doubts, or unresolved issues that have been lingering in the background of your mind, waiting to be acknowledged. The hidden room might contain the answers you've been seeking all your life, but it requires introspection and patience to access. Another way to tap into the memory vault is through dreams. Your subconscious mind is incredibly active when you sleep, and dreams are one of the most direct ways the hidden room communicates with you. Ever had a dream that left you feeling like you had uncovered a piece of wisdom or insight that you didn't consciously know? That's the memory vault at work, subtly guiding you toward greater understanding. Dreams often provide us with flashes of awareness about the deeper aspects of our existence, including unresolved feelings from the past or glimpses of hidden knowledge from the soul. So, what lies within this hidden room? Is it a key to unlocking greater knowledge, a treasure chest of wisdom from your soul's journey, or perhaps something more profound? Only by daring to look into the vault, to dig deeper than we've ever gone before, can we begin to understand. The more we explore the hidden room within our memory, the closer we come to knowing ourselves, not just on the surface, but at the very core of our being. It's important to understand that the hidden room isn't a place of danger or harm. It's simply a space that holds things we may not yet be ready to confront or understand. And just as you wouldn't rush into a dark room without a light, you shouldn't rush into this hidden part of your mind without preparing yourself. Give yourself the time and space to process what you find. And most importantly, trust that the room will reveal itself to you when the time is right. The false lessons you keep repeating. Throughout our lives, we are often conditioned by society, family, and personal experiences to adopt certain beliefs. These beliefs shape how we see ourselves and the world, but many of them are false lessons, concepts that limit us, keeping us trapped in cycles that prevent growth and true happiness. These false lessons can be subtle, creeping into our minds until we start to believe them as truths, when in reality, they're simply constructs built on fear and misunderstanding. One of the most pervasive false lessons is the belief that failure is something to be avoided at all costs. From a young age, we're taught that failing means we're not good enough or capable. But in truth, failure is not only inevitable, it's essential. It's through failure that we learn, adapt, and grow. Every time we fail, we get closer to understanding who we are and what we're truly capable of. The false lesson is that failure is the end, when in reality, it's just a stepping stone on the path to success. Similarly, many people believe that happiness can only be achieved once we reach certain milestones, whether it's a career goal, a certain amount of wealth, or approval from others. This false lesson ties happiness to external achievements, making us constantly chase after things outside of ourselves, while forgetting that true happiness is internal. The real lesson is that happiness comes from being present, embracing gratitude, and accepting ourselves as we are, no matter where we are in life. Another false lesson is the belief that our worth is determined by what others think of us. We live in a world where social validation, likes, and approval can dictate our self-esteem. This false lesson makes us feel inadequate, especially in a world where comparison is so easy. However, true worth comes from within. It's built on self-acceptance and alignment with our core values, not on the opinions of others. We quote. We also often taught that control is the key to peace and security. The false lesson here is that if we can control every aspect of our lives, our work, our relationships, our environments, we'll feel safe and in control. But life doesn't work that way. The reality is that trying to control everything leads to stress, anxiety, and burnout. True peace comes from accepting the unknown, embracing change, and learning to adapt to life's unpredictability. Finally, the pursuit of perfection is another false lesson that holds many of us back. We're taught that in order to be valued or loved, we need to be perfect in our careers, in our relationships, and in our appearance. Perfectionism can paralyze us, preventing us from taking risks and experiencing life fully. The truth is, there is no such thing as perfect. Our imperfections make us unique and human, and it's through embracing our flaws that we find true beauty and self-acceptance. Recognizing these false lessons and replacing them with empowering beliefs is the key to breaking free from their grip. The first step is awareness. Start noticing the patterns in your thoughts, actions, and beliefs. Identify the false lessons you've been carrying with you and challenge them. Replace them with empowering truths, ones that encourage growth, self-love, and acceptance. The path to freedom lies in releasing the false lessons that hold you back and embracing the truths that will lead to a more fulfilling life. The entities who watch the archive. Imagine for a moment that all of human history, every thought, every emotion, every action, and every decision ever made by those who have walked this earth is stored within an immense, infinite archive. Every fleeting second, every interaction, every act of kindness, anger, joy, and pain preserved for eternity. But here's the strange part. What if there are beings, not bound by time or space as we understand it, who are watching this archive? These entities aren't confined to the laws of the material world, and they are fully aware of everything that happens within this endless library of human existence. These entities are not like us. They don't experience time as we do, in linear progressive steps. They don't have physical bodies, nor do they possess minds in the conventional sense. They exist on a different plane of reality, a dimension beyond our grasp. Perhaps they are cosmic observers, higher beings whose consciousness spans across the ages, untouched by the constraints of space and time. Some believe they are the guardians of this vast archive, ensuring that the story of humanity, of every life that has ever been lived, unfolds as it should. But why are they watching? What drives them to observe, study, and perhaps even intervene in the narrative of our lives? Are they simply passive onlookers, content to watch the unfolding of time? Or are they actively involved in shaping events, guiding humanity in ways we cannot even begin to understand? Could they be witnessing the eternal dance of life and death, learning from every action and reaction, every triumph and failure? Perhaps they are studying us as a species, noting our growth, our mistakes, our evolution, and our potential for transcendence. Maybe they are keeping track of the paths we've chosen and the ones we've yet to discover. The mystery deepens when you consider the idea that these entities might be more than just observers. What if they are silently guiding us, influencing us in ways we cannot perceive? Could they be nudging us toward certain decisions, pushing us into experiences that align with a greater, unseen purpose? Maybe they are not simply watching, but are actively involved in the delicate process of life itself, shaping the events of the universe in subtle ways, directing our choices and actions from behind the veil. In various spiritual traditions and philosophies, there have been stories of such beings, guardians of the divine knowledge, watchful spirits, or even ancient gods. Some believe that these entities are benevolent, guiding us toward enlightenment, helping us navigate the challenges of life. Others propose that they may not be entirely benevolent at all. Perhaps they are cold, detached, and dispassionate, observing us with an almost clinical interest. What if they are taking note of our failures, our doubts, our fears, waiting for us to fall into patterns they have already predicted? The concept of these cosmic entities raises profound questions about our place in the universe. If these entities are indeed watching us, what do they see? Do they see us as individuals with potential, struggling to find meaning in a vast and incomprehensible cosmos? Or do they view us as players in a much larger game, where the rules are beyond our understanding? And what is their true purpose in this grand scheme? Are they simply watching, or are they actively involved in steering the course of history, influencing the decisions of individuals, civilizations, and even entire species? What if, as we go about our lives, making choices that seem so personal and isolated, we are unaware that we are being observed by forces far beyond our comprehension? Could these entities be behind the most pivotal moments in history, subtly nudging us in certain directions, orchestrating events to align with a greater cosmic plan? Are we part of a larger, more intricate design than we could ever imagine? The truth is, we may never truly know who or what these entities are. Whether they are benevolent guides, detached scientists, or something else entirely, their presence, if it exists, raises fascinating questions about our own existence. Are we truly free to make our own choices, or are we being subtly influenced by these unseen observers? The mysteries of these cosmic entities are as elusive as the archive they are said to guard, leaving us to ponder the nature of our reality and the role these beings play in it. The timeline you almost live. Imagine for a moment that every choice you've ever made, every path you've taken, every person you've met, every decision you've ever faced, has led you to exactly where you are today. But here's the intriguing question. What about the path you didn't take? The road you almost traveled, but for a moment of hesitation or a twist of fate, remains untouched in the vast expanse of time. Could there be an alternate timeline, a version of you living a completely different life? What if you were on the verge of becoming someone entirely different, someone you can barely recognize now? The idea of multiple timelines isn't just a philosophical notion. It has deep roots in quantum mechanics and the theory of parallel realities. In the quantum world, particles can exist in multiple states at once, and the decisions we make are not the end-all, be-all of our reality. In some interpretations of quantum mechanics, each choice creates a branching path, forming new timelines where different versions of ourselves live out alternative outcomes. These paths diverge, leading to realities that may have seemed possible at one point, but were never actualized. The timeline you almost lived is just as real as the one you're experiencing right now, existing somewhere in the fabric of the universe, waiting for you to rediscover it. But how could we ever know what might have been? What if there was a critical moment in your life, a choice you made, a person you decided to walk away from, a job you passed up, that sent you down an entirely different trajectory? What would that version of yourself look like? Would you be more successful, more at peace, or perhaps less fulfilled than you are now? These alternate versions of ourselves are like shadows, haunting the edges of our present lives, reminding us of the infinite possibilities that could have been. There are moments in life when we wonder, what if? What if you had taken that job offer in another city? What if you had stayed with that person or gone down a different educational path? Every one of these questions is a doorway to a reality where things unfolded differently. It's easy to fall into the trap of regret, wishing we could rewind time and make the right decision, the one that would have led us to a better life. But what if the path you didn't take holds just as much value as the one you're on now? What if it was never meant to be, and the very act of not choosing it was part of your greater purpose? We might never get the chance to see these alternate timelines with our own eyes, but some people believe that they are not entirely out of reach. In some spiritual practices, it's said that there are ways to tap into these lost paths through deep meditation, lucid dreaming, or even in the space between life and death. Some believe that through intense self-reflection, a heightened state of awareness, we can access fragments of these alternate selves, experiencing flashes of lives we never lived. The question is, why does this curiosity persist? Why do we keep wondering about these untaken paths, even if they are nothing more than shadows of a reality that was never meant to be? Perhaps it's because deep down, we're all searching for the perfect version of ourselves. We're all trying to understand who we truly are and what our full potential could look like. Could it be that the timeline you almost lived is not just a reflection of the past, but a mirror into the future? The choices you make today could ripple out into the universe, creating timelines you have yet to explore. In the end, we are left to wonder whether these alternate timelines are truly parallel to our own, or if they are simply the product of our imagination, intangible dreams of what could have been. What if the person you almost became is still out there, somewhere in the vastness of time and space, and every now and then you catch a glimpse of their life? Would it change how you live yours? How forgotten knowledge still shapes you? Have you ever felt that deep, inexplicable connection to certain ideas or practices, even though you have no clear memory of ever learning them? Maybe it's a skill you somehow excel at, a piece of wisdom that feels ingrained in your soul, or a deeply intuitive understanding of something you've never studied. It's almost as if a part of you knows things that you've never consciously learned, a kind of forgotten knowledge that continues to shape you, even without you realizing it. This phenomenon isn't just a strange coincidence. It's a concept that has fascinated philosophers, scientists, and spiritual thinkers for centuries. The idea that knowledge could be passed down through generations, carried within us, even without our awareness, suggests that we may all be inheritors of wisdom from past lives, ancient civilizations, or even forgotten parts of human history. But what if this knowledge isn't something we've just forgotten? What if it's something we're still carrying with us, woven into the very fabric of our being? One theory that touches on this is the concept of the collective unconscious, introduced by Carl Jung. Jung suggested that all of humanity shares a collective reservoir of memories, symbols, and archetypes that transcend personal experience. This means that even if we've never experienced certain events or gained certain knowledge in this life, it could still reside within us at a deeper level. This forgotten knowledge is passed down through generations, not just through physical inheritance, but through the very structures of our psyche. And even if we don't actively remember it, it continues to influence how we think, act, and perceive the world. Another fascinating aspect of this is the idea of cellular memory. Some believe that our cells hold on to experiences from not just our lives, but also from the lives of our ancestors. This means that every time we tap into a hidden talent, recall an instinctive response, or feel drawn to something we've never been exposed to, we might actually be accessing this deep-seated knowledge encoded in our DNA. These ancestral memories could explain why certain activities or practices feel so familiar, or why we're naturally inclined towards specific interests or skills, even if we have no conscious memory of ever learning them. But what happens when we forget something that was once vital to our survival or spiritual growth? Could this forgotten knowledge still influence us in ways we don't fully understand? Perhaps it shows up in the form of inexplicable dreams, gut feelings, or instincts that guide us when we need them most. Some spiritual traditions believe that our forgotten knowledge may be tied to a greater universal truth, one that we once knew, but lost touch with over time. As we continue to grow, learn, and evolve, this knowledge slowly reawakens, guiding us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The question then becomes, how can we tap into this forgotten wisdom? How can we access knowledge that has been buried beneath layers of time and experience? Some believe that practices like meditation, lucid dreaming, or deep introspection allow us to reconnect with this ancient knowledge. Others look to the study of past lives or the exploration of altered states of consciousness to uncover hidden truths. The process of remembering or reawakening this forgotten knowledge can often feel like uncovering a buried treasure. It's not always easy, but the rewards are profound: an enhanced sense of purpose, a deeper understanding of our life's path, and a more intuitive connection to the world around us. What if the most powerful and transformative wisdom you've been searching for has always been inside you, waiting to be unlocked? Could it be that the forgotten knowledge you carry is the key to understanding your life's greatest mysteries? Perhaps this knowledge is what shapes your every decision, guiding you toward the experiences you need to grow. The more you explore, the more you might begin to realize just how much you already know. The answers to your deepest questions may already be written in the blueprint of your soul. What happens if you refuse to reincarnate? Reincarnation has long been a cornerstone of spiritual belief systems across the world, from Hinduism and Buddhism to ancient Egyptian rituals. The idea that the soul is reborn in different lives, each time with a new purpose, offers comfort and explanation for life's mysteries. But what happens if the soul decides that it no longer wants to return to the cycle? What happens if you refuse reincarnation? In some traditions, it's believed that refusing reincarnation could create a kind of spiritual stagnation. The soul, having evolved through countless lifetimes, reaches a point where it no longer desires physical experiences. This decision to refrain from reincarnation doesn't necessarily lead to immediate transcendence, but could place the soul in a state of pause, caught in between worlds. Perhaps the soul lingers in an ethereal plane, not fully attached to earthly realms or the higher, spiritual dimensions. In this space, the soul may reflect on its past lives, working through unresolved emotions or understanding lessons that were left incomplete. There quotes also the possibility being stuck in a kind of spiritual limbo, a place where souls who refuse reincarnation remain, awaiting some form of resolution. It's akin to purgatory in some religious views, where the soul has unfinished business. This could be the result of unresolved karmic debts or unmet spiritual growth. These souls are said to be in a kind of suspension, unable to move forward until they're ready to engage once more with the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Alternatively, karma. Some philosophies argue that refusal to reincarnate is a form of spiritual transcendence. The soul, having learned all that it needs to in the physical realm, may choose to ascend to a higher plane of existence, free from the constraints of time and space. In this state, the soul no longer needs the earthly experience of reincarnation, as it has gained the wisdom of all its past lives. It would then merge with universal consciousness, becoming one with the cosmos. This transcendent state would not be bound by physical laws or karmic cycles, but would instead exist beyond them. But what about those who believe in karma? If you refuse reincarnation, is your karma left unresolved, lingering in the ether until it's dealt with? Some spiritual teachings hold that karma doesn't simply disappear. It waits until the soul is ready to confront it. Refusing reincarnation could mean that the soul carries its karmic burdens indefinitely, creating an accumulation of unfinished lessons that must be dealt with before it can move on. Whether it's the karmic debts of previous lives or unresolved lessons from the current one, they would remain, affecting the soul's development and path. Moreover, the idea of refusal could lead to a form of ultimate spiritual mastery, where the soul has transcended the cycle of birth and death entirely. This might indicate that the soul has reached such a high level of spiritual maturity that it no longer needs to take on a physical form to learn or grow. It no longer needs to experience the limitations of earthly existence because it has transcended them, gaining direct access to universal wisdom and understanding. This level of spiritual evolution is rare and may be viewed by some as the ultimate goal of existence, the breaking free of the endless cycle of reincarnation. Yet, the refusal of reincarnation could also be an act of profound disillusionment. The soul might reject the cycle because it has grown weary of the repetitive nature of human existence, or because it believes that there is more to existence than the limited confines of the physical world. In this sense, refusal could be a form of rebellion against the system, a refusal to participate in a world of suffering, learning, and growth. The soul at this point might seek something deeper, a greater understanding, a new form of existence that is beyond the confines of any known spiritual system. In the end, the consequences of refusing reincarnation are not clear-cut. Each belief system offers a different explanation, and perhaps the truth is more complex than we can fathom. What do you think happens if you choose to refuse reincarnation? The fragment that always remains. Throughout the journey of life, we encounter moments, people, experiences, each of them leaving an imprint on us. These experiences are like pieces of a larger puzzle that make up who we are. But no matter how much time passes, no matter how many lives we live, there's one fragment that always remains. It is the piece of you that is untouched by time, undisturbed by change, and impervious to the countless reincarnations or transformations that shape your soul. This fragment is often elusive, not fully understood by the conscious mind. Some call it the essence, the core of who we are, or the soul's true nature. It's the part of us that stays constant, no matter the physical or emotional transformations we go through. It's the part that remembers who we truly are, even when everything else fades away. Even in the most chaotic moments, in the darkest corners of our minds, this fragment quietly endures, waiting to be acknowledged. But why does this fragment persist? Some philosophies suggest it's the foundation of our spiritual identity, the part of us that carries the knowledge and wisdom accumulated through countless lives. This fragment contains all that we've learned and experienced, preserving our true essence despite the layers of ego, personality, and memories that may shift over time. It's like an eternal marker in the vastness of the universe, a thread that ties us to our original source, reminding us of who we were before we ever entered this world. In other traditions, this fragment is said to be the spark of divine consciousness, our connection to the universe, the divine, or whatever higher power we choose to believe in. It's the part of us that remains connected to the infinite, the unchangeable force that we are all a part of. It is this fragment that continues to guide us through the labyrinth of life, even when we lose ourselves along the way. It's the voice of intuition, the feeling of déjà vu, or that whisper of certainty that tells you when you are on the right path, even when logic fails. However, this fragment is not without its mystery. Even though it stays with us, it's often hidden beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to be recognized. Many of us go through life unaware of its presence, too caught up in the distractions of the world to notice. But there are moments, rare, fleeting moments, when we feel it. Perhaps it's during a quiet moment of reflection, a moment of profound clarity, or even during an unexpected encounter with someone who resonates with something deep within you. In these moments, this fragment comes to the forefront, reminding you that there's more to you than just your physical body or the stories you've told yourself. The fragment that remains is also a reminder of our deeper purpose. It's the part of us that is eternal, untouchable by the world's chaos. It's the part that transcends fear, suffering, and all the obstacles we face. It's the spark that reminds us of our potential, our ability to transcend limitations and reach for the infinite. Whether you call it your higher self, your soul's essence, or your divine spark, this fragment holds the key to understanding who you are beyond the fleeting experiences of life. But the existence of this fragment raises profound questions. If it's always there, why don't we acknowledge it more often? Why do we spend so much of our time searching for meaning and purpose outside of ourselves, when the very essence of who we are has always been within us? What if we could connect with this fragment more fully, allowing it to guide us in our decisions, our relationships, and our path in life? The journey of life is, in part, about uncovering this fragment, the piece of us that never changes. And perhaps, if we could understand this part of ourselves more deeply, we could unlock a deeper sense of fulfillment, peace, and understanding. It's the reminder that no matter how far we wander, how many identities we adopt, or how much we forget, the truth of who we are is always with us. The last memory before you're born, before your soul entered this world, before the first breath filled your lungs and you became conscious of your own existence, there was a moment, a memory that resides somewhere deep within your being. It is the last memory before you were born. A fleeting and often forgotten moment in the cosmic cycle of life. In many spiritual and philosophical traditions, this memory is seen as the last glimpse of your existence before you became bound to the physical realm. This memory is not one of your past lives, not a recollection of a body or a form, but rather a pure and profound awareness that transcends the boundaries of time and space. It is an awareness of the vastness of existence, a moment when you were connected to everything before you took on the limitations of a physical body. It's the moment when your soul stands at the threshold, preparing to step into the material world, carrying with it the wisdom and knowledge accumulated from countless experiences across lifetimes. But why does this memory exist? What is the purpose of this last moment before birth? Some spiritual teachings suggest that this memory is a final connection to the source of all life, the divine, the universe, or whatever higher power governs existence. This memory, you were aware of the infinite possibilities that awaited you. You knew the path that lay ahead, the challenges and joys you would face, and the lessons that you would learn along the way. It is said that in this moment, you held the blueprint of your soul's journey, with all the lessons, relationships, and experiences that would shape you in the physical realm. Yet, as you are born and begin to experience life, this memory fades. It becomes obscured by the veil of forgetfulness that is said to descend upon us the moment we enter the world. The weight of the physical body, the constraints of time and space, and the focus on survival and growth, all of these things push that final memory into the deepest corners of the subconscious, where it remains dormant, often hidden from our conscious awareness. But there are times in life when we experience moments of deep clarity or profound connection that this memory resurfaces, offering us a glimpse of what we once knew. In moments of stillness, meditation, or heightened awareness, some individuals report fleeting sensations of remembering something vast, something beyond the physical world. These sensations may manifest as feelings of déjà vu, a sudden sense of profound connection with the universe, or an intuitive knowing that seems to come from somewhere deep within. These moments may be the faint echoes of the last memory before birth, when you were connected to the entirety of existence, unshackled by the limitations of the physical world. It's a sense of homecoming, a brief return to that state of pure awareness and unity before the separation of body and soul. But what does this memory teach us? Why does it linger within us, even if we can't consciously recall it? Perhaps it serves as a reminder of the greater cosmic truth, that we are all connected, that life is not a random series of events, but a purposeful and meaningful journey. This memory might remind us that, while we may be caught up in the material world, there is a deeper, spiritual connection to all of existence that transcends the body. It's a connection that we can tap into when we look beyond the surface of our lives and remember the vastness from which we came. This final memory before birth is also linked to the idea of fate and free will. It raises the question, did we choose this life? Were we aware of the trials and tribulations that would shape us in this incarnation? Did we select the people, the circumstances, and the challenges that would define our journey? If so, then this memory serves as a kind of cosmic agreement, a contract we signed before entering the world, knowing that the pain, the joy, and the lessons we would face were all part of a grand plan. Awareness may be buried deep within our subconscious, but perhaps it is why, despite all the chaos and uncertainty we experience, we still feel a deep sense of purpose, as if there's something guiding us toward a greater understanding. For many, the last memory before birth serves as a source of comfort. It is the knowledge that we are not alone in this vast universe, that we are part of something greater, something eternal. Even in our most difficult moments, we can remember that before we were born, we were part of the infinite, and that connection to the source never truly fades.